The first text came while I was still lying in a hospital bed, officially declared dead to everyone who mattered. It's finally over. We can breathe now. It was from my wife. 3 days earlier, my family had buried an empty coffin. A closed casket funeral after a car explosion that was supposed to kill me. The doctors said it was a miracle I survived. The police said I was safer if no one knew. So I watched my own funeral through a nurse's phone screen, hearing my wife cry, scream, collapse into my sister's arms. I believed every tear. I shouldn't have. A week later, against every warning, I slipped out. I needed to see her face again. I needed proof that the woman I loved wasn't already moving on. That's how I ended up standing at my nephew's first birthday party, hidden behind a borrowed cap and sunglasses, watching balloons sway in my sister's backyard like nothing in the world had shattered. My wife was there, laughing, glowing, very much alive, and not grieving. I told myself grief looked different on everyone. I told myself I was imagining the way she kept checking her phone, the way my sister whispered to her and squeezed her hand like they were sharing a secret. Then my sister clinked her glass. Everyone, can I have your attention? The music stopped. Conversations faded. My wife stepped beside her, one hand resting on her stomach. My heart slowed, then stopped. There's something we want to share, my sister said, smiling too wide. Life gives, even after loss. My wife inhaled, tears filling her eyes, not the kind I'd seen at the funeral. These were excited. I'm pregnant. Applause erupted. Someone gasped, that's so fast. She cut them off. The baby is my husband's. Which husband? I wanted to scream. Because according to the world, I was 6 feet under. My ears rang. My vision tunneled. My sister wrapped an arm around her, protective, proud. And in that moment, every strange detail from the past year slammed into place. The late nights. The locked phone. The way she flinched when I touched her sometimes, like she'd forgotten whose arms she was in. The fights that came out of nowhere. Her sudden closeness with my sister. Sleepovers, long walks, whispered conversations that stopped when I entered the room. I had blamed stress, work, life. I blamed myself. After the announcement, I followed them inside. My sister's house still smelled like vanilla frosting and baby powder. In the hallway, my wife leaned against the wall, hands shaking as she typed. I looked at the screen over her shoulder. Him. Did he show up? Her? No. He's gone. For good. My chest burned. I stepped forward. She turned. Her face drained of color. Hi, I said softly. Miss me? She screamed. My sister ran in, froze when she saw me, then whispered my name like she'd seen a ghost. You buried me, I said. Then announced my replacement. My wife slid down the wall, sobbing. You weren't supposed to be alive. That sentence broke something final inside me. The truth spilled out in pieces. An affair that started when my sister introduced her to a friend to help with loneliness. Plans made quietly. Insurance papers. A phone call she made while I was still trapped in the wreck, bleeding. They hadn't planned my survival. I loved you, she cried. I just didn't want this life anymore. I looked at her, the woman I built a future with, and felt nothing but exhaustion. I died believing you loved me, I said. That's the cruelest part. I walked out as guests laughed outside, unaware they'd just celebrated a lie. Months later, I'm rebuilding. Slowly. Alone. Alive. I learned that betrayal doesn't always come with hatred. Sometimes it comes with smiles, hugs, and applause. And sometimes, surviving isn't the miracle. Walking away is.